Well, the weekend has come to an end, but we do not end things here. As you know, we are continuing with day 2 of the G1 Climax by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, keep in mind, people, we are not doing elimination tournament. This is a round robin tournament where you gain points and move on to advance. However, we are now in the early stages. Now, in day 1, almost half of the wrestlers have their first 2 points. But the real question is, who will be getting their very first 2 points, or those who will be getting their next 2 points after winning day 1. So we will see what comes of it. And of course, finally, TNA with their annual WrestleMania type show, of course, Slammiversary. So we're going to feature many matches. Mustafa Ali versus, of course, Cedric Alexander, a rematch from WrestleMania, the pre-show. We even have, of course, all title matches happening. Not to mention, as you know, implications from NXT. So we're going to see how things will roll out. And then, of course, as always, we'll cap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world, wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either see it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or nice comments in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get to it. So, let's begin, of course, with day 2 of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 35. Okay, day 2 of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 35. Now, before I proceed, if you guys are new to this channel, or if you guys have not been keeping up, let me explain what this tournament is all about. This tournament is a round-robin tournament, not an elimination tournament where, of course, you lose a match, you win a match, and you move on while the loser is out. No, this is where we get point-based system, of course. If you win a match, you get 2 points. Lose a match, 0. But in a situation of a time limit draw, of course, you get 1 point each. Now, it gets a little complicated once we advance further and further by the adding of the points. So, the much we add to, we get closer and closer to the end, that's where I'll explain a little bit about what's been going on in the tournament. So, please bear with me on that in case if anybody asks for it. So, Now, as you know, in day one, everybody, half of the wrestlers that participated in day one have already obtained, of course, their first 2 points. Now, the real question we ask ourselves, the ones that haven't gotten their first 2 points, will they get it today, or they will remain in zero, or there will be those who will be advancing in a undefeated type streak until one day they will, of course, lose it. So we will see what happened. Now, we jump into our first block. Well, no, never mind. Let me start this out. Gabe Kidd, of course, showed up in crutches. Apparently, uh, on day one, he injured himself while he was in a match against Konosuke Takeshita, which he eventually lost. So apparently, he had to pull out for the main event. He was facing against Zack Sabre Jr. So by automatic, in case anybody asks, Zack Sabre Jr. gets those 2 points. So, but however, in the case of Gabe Kidd, if he's unable to participate the rest of the tournament, everybody involved in his matches will automatically get 2 points. But we still don't know the extent. If he'll be showing up on the next one, who knows? But I'll let you guys know as soon as possible. Now, let's jump into the first match of the G1. We start out with Block A. We have Cal Newman versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, of course, Tanahashi was in the main event in day one facing Tashi. He already gained 2 points. Cal Newman, well, he lost against that dickhead, of course, Evil. But the real question is, who will advance? Who will get their next 2 points? Will Cal Newman get his first, or will it be Tanahashi? Well, I have to say Tanahashi, we all know that he is not the wrestler how he used to be, but he is holding on. But in the end, it was Cal Newman who picked up the win when he applied the Princess Curse. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he gets his first 2 points, putting him in a 1 loss and 1 win situation. And the same thing, of course, with Tanahashi. Now let's jump into our next block, is Block B. We have Drilla Maloney versus Shota Umino. Of course, both men, as you all know, were successful getting their first 2 points. But however, who will be moving on? Will it be Drilla Maloney or Shota Umino? That is a good question. But you all know Drilla Maloney, as you know, stepped up from the junior heavyweight division and made the jump to heavyweight. He has been very impressive so far. But Shota Umino is determined to show his toughness. But in the end, it was Drilla Maloney with the Drilla Killer that allowed him to pick up his next 2 points with a total of 4 points with just 2 wins and no losses. While Shota Umino, it remains in 2 points with 1 win and 1 loss. Now keep in mind, at this moment, Drilla Maloney, he is currently undefeated. So we will see what happens. Now, things could change as we progress. So stay tuned if that changes. Now, our next match is back to Block A. We have Ryohei Oiwa versus Boltin Oleg. Now, of course, Boltin Oleg did not win his first match, but Oiwa gained his first win. So the real question, who is going to walk out? So this is one of those tough matches you couldn't tell. I mean, both of these guys, of course, train very hard to get what they're at. But another implication this is, if Ryohei Oiwa wins this match, it's a possibility he could get an opportunity of the never openweight title that Boltin Oleg has in his possession. And that's exactly what Oiwa did when he applied, my bad, hold on. But however, that did not happen because Boltin Oleg redeemed himself from his first match by that loss by applying the kamikaze, giving him the constant of his first 2 points. So basically, he is currently good for now until something changes along the way. Now let's jump into our next match, which is Block B. We have one of the biggest scumbags in the House of Losers, Ren Narita versus Yoshihashi. Now, for those who know, Ren Narita, as you know, is a member of the House of Losers. They're determined to win by any means cost. That means cheating their way through. Not to mention using tactics, of course. The damn push-up bar. Try to low blow. But somehow Yoshihashi was able to overturn that. And he pinned him completely. But what's the sweet icing of the cake is this? Well, Ren low blowed Yoshihashi during the match. Well, I could say, it goes back to you two, pal. Well, Yoshihashi got his revenge by giving him a low blow. Well, he deserved it. So, suck on that, loser. So, moving on. Well, hold on, my bad. I forgot this. As you all know, point system for these guys, Red Narita, well, he has 1 win, 1 loss. I'm sure he's going to cry like a little bitch for losing. As for Yoshihashi, well, as this moment forward, he has 4 points. That makes him undefeated. So we'll see how things will progress with him. Now, jumping back to A block, we have Sonata versus David Finlay. Now, this, I have to say, is a sweet measure of revenge. If you remember, Sonata betrayed the Bullet Club War Dogs. And I'm sure David Finlay hasn't forgotten. And I'm sure he will have nothing more to get even with him. And of course, Sonata, with his ways of being a little cocky SOB, was definitely trying to find ways to win. Well, it did not work because David Finlay finally get his first 2 points when he applied the overkill, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But as for Sonata, well, Sonata, I hope you stay at the bottom of the pile, biatch. So we'll see how that rolls. Now, let's jump in back to tournament with Block B action. We have the Great Okan versus Shingo Takagi. Now, this is a very interesting match. For those who've not been following New Japan, let me tell you, Great Okan has never, and I mean never, beaten Shingo Takagi. This is a monumental match for him. I'm not a fan of Khan, putting it out there, but it tells us that Khan is determined to hopefully finally get that 1 win that he needs. Now, both men, as you probably can guess, they did not pick up their first win in the G1, so they remained at 0. Now, Shingo, in my opinion, we all know he is a strong individual. He has a bit of a powerhouse. You would think that would have been enough, but unfortunately, it was not enough until the Great Okan picked up his first win with, of course, applying the Eliminator, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. He gets his first 2 points with the record of 1 win and 1 loss. As for Shingo, well, I don't know how is he going to be now, because in the matter of this, he is at the bottom with 0 points. That means he has 2 losses. Now, I don't know what's going to happen from here, but we will pay attention to it. Now, we jump into A block. We have, I really hate this guy completely. He is the biggest scum of the earth. Evil, along with Dick Togo and Don Foley. Yeah. Someone shoot me, please, because I hate this guy. He faces against a guy he has dealt with before. We're talking about Yota Tsuji. Now, it's no secret, of course, that Evil will do whatever it takes. He thinks he's the best. Wrong, dickhead. You're not the best, Evil. You will always remain in the shadows of Naito. And that's exactly what he's going to be. And, of course, Fale was going to get involved. But thank God for diking the guy who helped them. But, unfortunately, it was not enough. Somehow Evil picked up the win. I'm sure Evil is laughing, cursing, saying that he is unstoppable. Wrong, dickhead, you're not unstoppable. Sooner or later you will lose, and I just hope you don't win. So we'll see. I can't wait to see someone take out those idiot Dick Togo and Foley. Destroy his secret weapon. That's what I want to see. Now, our semi-main event. This is a match you don't want to miss out, because it's Block B. It features Konosuke Takeshita. Yes, for all you AEW fans out there, it's the same guy. Versus El Phantasmo. But this is also another monumental match. For those who have not been following, let me explain. El Phantasmo has never, and I repeat, never beaten Konosuke Takeshita. The first encounter was at the G1, I think, was it last year or the year before? Who knows? I think last year. And he did not win. And not to mention, he challenged Takeshita for the never openweight title. Failed. So you can consider this is one of those monumental moments. However, there was a rumor that, of course, Walker Stewart reported that he heard that Don Callis gave Takeshita the order to explore his opponent's weakness and take him out, because if you saw what happened with Gabe Kidd, there is that possibility. But I have to say, El Phantasmo, he showed that he is resilient, that he is willing to go the distance. He even kicked out in the Raging Fire. No one has ever kicked out of nowhere. But it only took El Fantasmo to do the CR3. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he gets his first 2 points. So both men have 2 points. So that means they are now in 1 win and 1 loss. So we'll see where that goes from here. And our main event, well, this one is interesting. We are back to Block A. We have Yuya Uemura versus Taichi. If you all know this, these guys used to be teammates in what used to be just 4 guys, just 5 guys, however you remember. But this is a monumental moment because, as you probably can guess, because these guys, it was Taichi who embraced Yuya Uemura to be in this whole thing, and that's exactly what he wanted. But I have to say, Taichi is determined to bounce back from losing to, of course, to Tanahashi in day 1, and Uemura picked up his first win, of course, in day 1. But the real question is, what's happening? I wasn't too sure. I was a bit biased on this one, but in the end, it was, of course, Taichi who picked up the win when he applied Black Mephisto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he gets his first 2 points. But of course, he does his promo, talk about Uemura, but for Christ's sakes, they actually played the Just 4 Guys themes, and I miss when Chris Carlton used to do the lyrics for it because I thought it was really, really great. But I'll note it here, of course, guess who actually showed up to watch this match to get a front row seat? Zack Sabre Jr. For those who don't know this, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi were extremely good friends. They were part of a tag team known as Dangerous Checkers, and one of Zack Sabre Jr.'s biggest wishes is to see Taichi win the IWGP World Heavyweight title. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it. If he does it, will be one of the monumental moments of his career, and that's something I'm sure we'll see. And not to mention, there was one of the young lions who showed up and talked to Taichi. I don't know exactly what he told him, but I'm sure he wants to learn something from him. So we'll see what happens moving forward with New Japan. Now, we are officially done with this. Now, I don't know when day 3 is going to happen, but there will be a special announcement regarding about moving forward from here as we speak, because this is something you guys probably will hear. So just wait for it. So let's move on to our next review, and I believe it's TNA. TNA Slammiversary. As I say, this is the WrestleMania show in TNA. Now, let's start with, of course, matches from the Countdown, which is the pre-show. The first one, of course, is the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Belts. The inspiration, as you probably remember their history, since day 1, when they first arrived to TNA 3 years ago, they won these tag belts right from the get-go, from day 1. And they could do it again to the Elegance brands, more specifically Heather and Ash. Now, however, this match, I would say, it went exactly what I expected, thanks to that little chihuahua, whatever his name is, and of course M, for helping them. This caused, of course, for the Elegance brands to pick up the win when Ash applied, of course, the Swanton Bomb, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, they retained the belts. However, during the main card of the show, of course, we did see, of course, that little chihuahua along with the Elegance brands celebrating. But however, the inspiration had enough. So they say they have friends in high places that they're going to deal with every last one of them, including, of course, that little chihuahua, which is the last thing they need. And they cry like little girls because they don't want this. Well, you brought this mess, so good luck. Now, our next match, we have, of course, Eric Young versus the Hometown Man. Now, of course, Eric Young initially wanted to, of course, expose the Hometown Man, believing that he is Cody Deaner. Well, this turned into a match. Now, of course, we all know that Eric Young was not going to be alone. He had, of course, by his side, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams, members of the Northern Armory. And that did not do any help for him because it was a Hometown Man that once again picked up a surprise pinfall, and just like that, he just skedaddled, knowing that they were coming to hunt him down. Now, our last match of the Countdown, we have Steve Maclin Mance Warner and Jake Something taking on Fourth Rope, an establishment between several promotions, including Rio 1, Joshua Bishop, and Zilla Fatu. So basically, they are the invaders, of course, of TNA. And of course, our TNA guys are trying to put this out of commission, but unfortunately, near the end, Mance Warner accidentally clotheslined Jake Something, costing the match thanks to Zilla Real One that pinned Something, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Fourth Rope picked up the win. Now let's jump into our main card of the entire event. We start out with Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander, a bit of a rematch from their WrestleMania pre-show match. If you guys remember, this was a match that put them on the map and also were given high praises by John Cena. And of course, Mustafa Ali hasn't forgotten about that match. And of course, Mustafa Ali had his entire security Secret Service and Order 4 help out by any means necessary. But oh my God, if you didn't see it, you saw Cedric Alexander use the Michinoku driver on Mustafa Ali through his damn security and the Order of 4. However, of course, Tasha Steelz got the dumb hands trying to get involved, and then Tasha Steelz kind of, got banished out of nowhere when she got caught. However, of course, the dumb hands tried to get involved, but of course, Cedric applied the lumbar check on them, and just like that. And then Tasha Steelz got in his face, but Cedric put her in the lumbar check, allowing for, of course, Mustafa Ali to apply the 450 splash, and just like that, the match was over. Now, Mustafa Ali can think that this is the end. No. Cedric Alexander's not going to let that slide. So sooner or later, either he's going to get new friends to help him out, or he has to go gung-ho on this. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Now, our next match, we have The System. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC teaming up with Matt Cardona to deal with Dark State. As you know, recently, Dark State made their presence known in TNA, doing whatever they want, however they want, without caring to making a statement to both TNA and NXT. However, you probably ask yourselves how this was going to end. I mean, Dark State, we know that they are a team that know how to work together very well. But somehow, someway, it was Eddie Edwards with the Boston Meat Party onto Sugar, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So TNA picked up this win. Now, our next match, we have Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell. Now, these two ladies have known each other for years. Indy Hartwell learned a lot from Tessa, but Tessa felt that Indy was invading her territory, and she feels like she is not undeniable, that people will think of her as unforgettable. But of course, Indy was not going to take that kindly. But what's interesting is she was able to kick out when Tessa applied the Magnum bomb, and just like that, it didn't do any favors. But it was, of course, a faceplant by Indy Hartwell, and just like that, putting her out, and Indy Hartwell picked up the win. However, during the post-match, we did see Gia Miller try to conduct a post-match interview, but of course Tessa was not taking this lightly. Gia tried to tell her that that was enough, but of course Tessa crossed the line and decided to attack her, try to hurt her, and then all hell broke loose. And then Santino had enough of her, telling her that she's gone too far, and Tessa thinks that he does not have the ball, so well, he told security to get her out of there. But he did mention a little later that Tessa Blanchard is, of course, suspended indefinitely. So, I mean, she deserved it, but she should have known better not to get involved. Now, our next match is the winner-takes-all match for both the NXT Women's Championship and the TNA Knockouts Championship were on the line. Jay-Z Jane, who, as you all know, shocked the world by defeating Stephanie Vakir, takes on Masha Savage. Now, Masha told Li Yingling and Zai Brookside not to get involved. She felt that she could actually do this on her own. And that's exactly what's been happening. Fatal Influence tried to do whatever it takes to win, but Li Yingling decided to help out. But unfortunately, this caused Jay-Z Jane to lose a little bit of focus, but but apparently, somehow, she was able to overcome it when she applied, of course, the rolling encore, and just like that, shocking the world once again. And not to mention, TNA has suffered another loss. One of their titles is in the hands of another outsider, which is the last thing they need it. Some people even commented on the social media that Jordan Grace is not going to take that kindly. But another question also arises. Ash Elegance, as you know, is in line for a title shot. How she's going to deal with it. She's going to feel that she's overshadowed by Jay-Z Jane. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jay-Z Jane gets in her face and tells her she was a failure back then. So, who knows? But we'll see what happens. Now, they did mention the amount of attendance that happened. We have, of course, the attendance of 7,623 people in attendance in this venue. I have to say it is a great accomplishment from them. So they're doing something similar to what what WrestleMania does, but nothing bigger. But it's accomplishment on their history, just to put it out there. Now our next match, we have the TNA X Division Championship. Leon Slater versus Moose. Now Leon Slater, as you know, has made this a belt of his life's work because he wants to be the youngest ever X Division champion. Now, the last one who was the youngest was the Amazing Red, and everybody knows it. If you guys are big fans of TNA, you know what I'm talking about. For those who don't know that, then now you're learning something. But Leon Slater, I have to say, he is unbelievable. He even somehow was able to kick out from the spear, and then he applied his spear onto Moose, and then the finishing touches, the Swanton 450, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new X Division champion. And of course, Moose put on the belt on Leon Slater, and he just showed him respect, which was something we hardly ever see him do, but he did it. But that wasn't the added bonus. We just saw, let's get ready to fly. Yep, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, an TNA original, made his return home. Now, some of you may question, why was he there? Well, let's just say AJ has been a pillar of the X Division the title, along with Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Homicide, the Amazing Red, and a few others. They epitomize what the X Division title was meant. You see, the X Division, for many of you who don't know, what is this? Well, this title is all about no limits. Basically, Samoa Joe, you guys seen him. He is big, and he moves like he's a high flyer in some capacity. I mean, he can jump, he can do things, you know, something that if you guys ever saw Mustafa Ali feels like there has to be a weight limit, but Santino's like, no, you don't need a weight limit. The whole point is no limits. But that's exactly what it was about. But AJ mentioned that he feels that the X Division is in good hands with guys like Leon Slater. And I think Leon feels, you know, that he got respect from a TNA original like AJ, means that now he has to step up the game and show what the X Division is all about. So we'll see what Leon Slater does in the future. But as of right now, let's keep moving forward. Now, our semi-main event is the TNA World Tag Team belts in a ladder match 4-way. We have, of course, the Rascals, consistent of Zachary Wentz and Myron Reed. Trey Miguel is still out of action, versus First Class, Casey Navarro and AJ Styles. AJ Francis. We have, of course, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. And then finally, the Menef brothers, Ryan and Mick. Now, of course, all the ladders are freaking being broken in half. If you guys saw that, it was murderous. I didn't know what to expect coming from that. But the one thing that was crazy, I have seen AJ Francis do it before, but on a ladder, hell no, I did not expect that. He moonsaulted off that place. I'm like, holy cow. A guy his size, you probably say he should not be moonsaulting off, but he did it. You know, he pulled it off, but man, it's crazy. But the one thing that was interesting, all ladders were broken. All the ladders were broken. Matt Hardy went to the back to find one, but it seems Jeff had a contingency plan. If you guys seen Batman 1966, which Tom, our commentator, mentioned, another set of ladders just fall down. He's like, what is this, Batman 1966? I just laughed so hard when he mentioned that. But I have to say, that was crazy that he pulled it off. Even not to mention, the Menef brothers tried to stop it, but it did not do any well until, of course, It was Jeff who pulled it off and brought those belts down, and they became, of course, once again, TNA World Tag Team Champions. However, that does not end things there. We have someone who showed up, Bully Ray of Team 3D. Apparently, he's setting up a proposal. One last match. A monumental match that will happen in Bound for Glory. Team 3D versus the Hardys. And you know that's going to be baller. So, we'll see how things will go. I'm sure everybody wants to invest on it. I'm definitely will. So, we'll see where that leads. Now, our main event is the TNA World Championship in a three-way. We have Joe Hendry versus Mike Santana versus Trick Williams. Now, for those who know this, Trick Williams is from NXT. He's currently the outsider holding this belt. But, of course, the real question is who is going to bring it home? Will it be Mike Santana or Joe Hendry? Now, these two men could agree that only one of them can bring that belt back. And, of course, the venue being in New York City, which is the hometown of Mike Santana, I'm sure everybody were banking their money on that. So, you know how that was going to be, but it was effing ruined by that idiot, Frankie Kazarian. Yeah, you screwed up, Frankie. Thanks a lot, you pig. So, yeah, he screwed it up. But Mike Santana had this match won. He had this match won when he applied the spin the block on Joe Hendry, but Trick Williams took advantage of it, throwing Mike Santana out of the ring and pinning Joe Hendry, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, if I was a betting man, I would say Mike Santana has another opportunity. He was not the one who lost. So basically, if I was him, I would definitely go after that belt now at Bound for Glory. How many of you guys would agree with me on that? I would say go get it. It may not happen in your home turf, but this is your moment opportunity. No more three ways. So that's what I would think would happen. So we'll see. But as of right now, we are finished with TNA. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So as always, let's begin with upcoming events. As you know, on August 1st, GCW will be, of course, at Rutherford, New Jersey for Hit 'em Up. They just announced our brand new crown TNA World Tag Team Champions. The Hardys will be making their presence known, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, French promotion Banger Zone Wrestling has announced for their upcoming event on the 30th of August for French Touch, Megan Bain will be in action taking on someone named Celine. And then finally, of course, as you know, MLW will have Fightland on September 13th. They announced that the current MLW National Openweight Champion, Ultimo Guerrero, will be participating. Then, of course, now moving on to some developments. Apparently, recently, when Thekla made her presence known in AEW, well, she was on probation. And, of course, this is what it was told. Let me pull it up here. It was on social media, in case anybody asked. Here it is. This is what, of course, Tony Khan put. Due to her attack on President Toru Okada, her determination for cause from Stardom, after her debut June 4th on Fyter Fest AEW Collision, I placed her Thekla on a 45-day probation period before violating her contract. Her probation ended today. So Thekla is now officially All Elite. And this is what Toru Okada, or the president of Stardom, had to say. It was thoughtful decision to place her on probation period. This toxic spider looks very sweet, but her silk will slowly clung to your body. I hope AEW and Tony Khan will not be caught in Thekla's web, because I myself have not been able to escape it from it yet. And of course, Tony Khan replied, I'm sorry for your injuries, my friend. And Okada mentioned, thank you so much, my friend. Be careful not to get hurt, Tony. So yeah, that's a great relationship between those two. So that's really great. Now, our final development, as you all know, by the time this video is out, it already happened. We had the Stardom event where, of course, Natsupo challenged Saya Kamatani for the red belt. However, Natsupo's best friend, rival, and teammate, Saori Anou, had some criticisms to say about Kamitani. And this is what she said. From an outsider's point of view, Saya Kamitani right now kind of feels like the Joker helping people, or the Bacon Man cleaning up. Like there's something off. I think that's what Natsumi is trying to say. Everyone is doing this with the desire to expand pro wrestling. Recently, I often hear people say Kamitani is drawing in fans, but also we drew that many fans at our 10th anniversary show. It's really frustrating that it's been made out of the only thanks to Kamitani, who is currently standing out. So yeah, so basically she's feeling like Kamitani is taking all the credit for everything. But I wouldn't be surprised if Anu decides to challenge her for the red belt. I'm pretty sure that's something that she always wanted to do, but we'll see, because I know Natsupo will be challenging for that red belt by the time this video is out. But we'll see what happens. So as of right now, we are officially done with our news updates, so let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I know some of you know that Monday is where WWE Raw happens. I don't watch that stuff anymore, so I decided I'm just going to try something different. We'll see. But stay tuned for an upcoming special announcement, because I think this one is critical for this week and the following week for all of you. Is regarding about our upcoming episode, so stay tuned for that. So as of right now, I will say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.